and they stay there, and they say yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome to our first ever Demon Nation download presented by the Moore County Journal. I'm your host, Joe Stewart, and this week we will visit with Demons head coach Chad Dunham. Hello Coach, how are you?
Doing good. Glad to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to come down and visit with us. If you don't mind, let's just jump right into this.
All righty, sounds good.
So last Friday night we started our first offensive play, a little quick pass play to Chris Casanova. He ran down for a touchdown. How important is it for the Demons to be the first team to score?
I mean, it's huge. I mean, in playing football is such a game of momentum. And, you know, the team that strikes first gains momentum early, and you want to try to keep that momentum throughout the ball game. And I do think we gained early momentum by our that first play of the ball game, being able to score. I mean, to be honest with you, I thought we were going to run the football, and Noah read out of it. It's kind of a run-pass option. You know, it has the option to we call a run play, but there's a pass play tag to it if a certain defender does a certain thing and their defender folded in the box to try to stop the run, and Noah pulled the ball, was able to hit Chris Casanova in stride. And I mean, it was a quick strike, but Chris was almost in the end zone before I realized what was going on, to be honest with you. It was a neat thing. And, you know, like I said, starting off with that early momentum, it helped us throughout the end of the ball game.
Awesome. So let's move on to our next question here. We opened the season in Perryton with a win, and since then we've had the last 4 games have been home games. Going down to Plainview this week to visit the Bulldogs, how do you differ your game plan from a home game to an away game?
You know, we were very fortunate to get 4 home games right there in a row, and those 4 home games were big for us. I mean, we were, first of all, it's, you know, you don't have to make travel plans. You don't have to get on the bus and sit on the bus on the tail ends. You know, what we try to do is we try to keep our kids busy when we're at home. As quick as school's out, we get them over there, and we start with meetings, and then we feed our kids, and after we're done feeding our kids, then we'll go a few more meetings, and then we have quiet time where we turn the lights out, and there's a group of kids that like to go in there and sleep, and then there's a group of kids that like to listen to music and things like that. But we have 2 rooms we'll go to. One locker room is quiet time, lights are out. The other locker room is a very low-key locker room, and we try to put coaches in both rooms to kind of monitor our kids so that we're getting mentally prepared. When you go on the road, you miss those comforts of home. You know, you miss those comforts of your own locker room and things like that, and we have to make plans of getting on the road. But what we try to do is we try to keep it as consistent as possible when we go on the road. We'll still have our pregame meal. We'll still, you know, we hand out our food on the bus, and our kids will eat on the bus ride up, and we try to let kids get rest, and the other kids that don't like to sleep are just sitting there and you know, listen to music, but they're pretty poised and pretty calm. We like it low-keyed. Really don't like to get them really fired up and too focused too early. So when we get there, we'll get out, and everybody will, you know, unpack their bags, and we'll get out on the turf and walk and try to get our legs, you know, loosened up. And you know, by about 5:30, we start the taping process, and our first group's out at about 6:15, going through pregame. So we try to keep it as routine as possible. The only thing that differs is the boys aren't sitting in their own locker room; they're on a bus. You know, so preparations do differ.
Right, awesome. So going down to visit the Bulldogs, they generally have a big band, and they get loud down there. How will the noise of their fans and their band affect you and your team? How will your game plan differ from that? Do you do anything special?
Yes, I mean, first of all, if you've never been to Plainview, I'll talk a little bit about what it's like to go to Bulldog Stadium down there and play. You know, in their home stadium. First of all, they bring a good crowd. They really do. Very similar to the crowd that we have at our home games. I mean, they bring a great crowd. You mentioned their band. They'll have a 300-member band, and their band does a tremendous job. They have a great deal of pride, and they've got some built-in schemes. You know, when you get in the red zone, their band will fire up certain songs and play really loud so that you have problems with your cadence with the quarterback. And you know, what we've had to do throughout the week is prepare a little bit on some silent snap counts, and you have to prepare for that band to be able to fire it up right there and get really loud. The other thing you got to talk about a little bit is, Plainview will put their own people on our stands as well, kind of intermingled with our fans and with our student section and with our band, and their band will be over on our side as well. They won't be on their home side, they'll be over on our side. So that's something that you have to get accustomed to. It's different. They've definitely figured out that home field advantage. I'm telling you, it's like when you go to Plainview, it's like playing in a snake den. I mean, it is intense, and it's dangerous.
I see. So, with the game plan that you and your staff have put together for this week down in Plainview, who has to have a big game offensively and then look at defensively?
Okay. It's a great question. First of all, I'll talk a little bit about our offense. Our offense, we've got to be able to get down there and establish the running game. And I'll explain why. What we want to do is be able to establish the running game and control the clock. We want our time of possession to be greater than theirs. The reason being so is our offense is almost just like another extension of our defense. When our offense is on the field, we're going to be able to keep their offense off the field. We're going to be able to keep them from obviously scoring as long as our offense is on the field. But the thing how they complement each other is they have such a physical style of run game offense where they run in a very old-fashioned wing tee, smash mouth style offense where they're trying to do the same thing. And it may take us 6 to 7 or 8 plays to get them stopped. And a lot of times you exert a lot of resources and energy to get those guys stopped. Well, if we can get them stopped and it not result in points or hold them to a field goal, we can't turn right back around and our offense go 3 and out. Our offense has to match them either with a touchdown, or our offense has to match them with a long drive and be able to punt to get our defense a chance to gather themselves and recover and things like that. So, first and foremost, we've got to control the clock, and we've got to, our time of possession has to be great. We have to match them. If they score, we've got to score. If they have long drives and we're able to hold them to a field goal or hold them to punt, then we have to turn around and we have to do the same thing offensively. We have to answer, either with a quick touchdown or be able to control the clock and give our defense a chance to recover. So offensively, that's what we need to do first and foremost. Defensively, our game plan is this. I mean, they are a wing tee physical style offense that's based off of, it's a physical style offense, but it's based off of misdirection. You're going to get backs going this way, backs going this way. It's going to look like run when it's a pass play and the receivers are flying past you on a play action pass. So we have to be very disciplined up front. Our defensive line has to do a tremendous job of what we call man-on keys. Lined up, the guy they're lined up in front of, they have to be able to get great keys off of those guys and play fundamentally sound up front. Second of all, our linebackers got to do a great job of keying their offensive linemen and trusting their keys and getting the first key to the second key. First key would be the guards. We're keying the guards, and the guards are going to indicate, for the most part, where the ball's going. But then the second key is the backfield, and we've got to be able to key from guard to backfield. And then our secondary has to be very, very disciplined and have their eyes on their keys and not try to do someone else's job and get their eyes on their keys, whether it be a running back, whether it be a tight end or a wing or an outside receiver. We've got to have our eyes disciplined in where they're supposed to be and do our job, or the play action pass will hurt us. So if you talk about who's got to have a great game, I mean, our offensive line's got to do a great job. Our running back's got to do a great job of taking care of the football. Our quarterback's got to do a great job of managing the ball and not having any costly turnovers when we choose to throw the football. He's got to take care of the ball well. The receiver's got to take care of the ball. Defensively, we have to be very, very disciplined up front, very disciplined at the linebacker position, and then very disciplined in the secondary. So, pretty much in order to be successful in this ball game, we think it's got to be a 100% team effort.
Right. Awesome. I agree. I think most team players will agree with that. Now, Coach, one last question we have for you today. I want to discuss a certain group of people. These guys they're loud, they're proud, they're crazy. They are the Dumas Demons student body. How important are they to the team?
It's a neat thing. I'll tell you, as our head coach, you know, and as a member of our community and administrator up at the high school and things like that, it is neat to see the transition of our student body and how involved they've gotten over the last couple of years. And you kind of started seeing them catch fire last year, and a lot of it had to do with the success that we've experienced. But we talk about it to our kids. You know, I talk about it to our football team about recognizing our student section and the energy and the passion and the fire that they bring to our ball games. And we kind of recognize them as our 12th man. We think they have a role in our success. We think that they give us energy and they give us fire and give us enthusiasm to play for. And when I talk to the kids, one of the last things I remind them before we go out and play in a ball game, I always say, listen, there's going to be a lot of guys and girls right up there in those stands. They've been here for the last hour and a half waiting for this ball game, and they're excited. You know, they're excited about a great football team. They're going to do their part. They're going to get rowdy, and that band is going to do their job. They're going to play well. And those fans are going to do their job. They're up there in the stands. It's a packed house. Now we got to go do our job. And I think the kids feel like that they have a responsibility to play to the best of their ability in order to honor that student section and recognize what they're doing for our football team. They're a tremendous bunch, and it's fun to watch them.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time to visit with us this week. Look forward to next week. And Demon Nation, I hope you have enjoyed this as much as I have. Head down to Plainview Friday night to game time at 7:30 to root on the Demons as they take on the Plainview Bulldogs.
Yeah.